What's up, guys? This is Michael Giver Style, and I purchased recently the Canon EOS M. If you've noticed in the last couple weeks, if you've been following mirrorless cameras, I do have the Sony NEX5N, and I've been contemplating going to the Sony NEX6, but this was a really good deal. This is the EOS M. This happens to be the 22mm prime version, and I picked it up for $299. Now it has been 1st of July. It was in and out. I think B&H Photo started off first at that rate. You could get this one at $299, or you could go with the 18 to 55 kit lens at $349. I did opt for the prime lens. Now they are a hot item. This was the number one, I believe it still is, the number one camera in Amazon's list of selling items that they have. It does have a normalized hot shoe, which is a plus because there is no EVF or anything along those lines, but it does have a standardized hot shoe. You have creative mode for photography, which is your automated mode, your manual mode, and then the movie mode. And the movie mode has both an automatic and a manual, so you have the option to go through ISO, aperture, etc. But the back has minimalized buttons because most of the heavy lifting is done on a pretty excellent touchscreen interface. This is a 3.0 inch screen that you have on the back. It does not flex. There's no movement whatsoever, so it is kind of fixed. However, it has slightly over 1,000,000 pixels, so it gives you outstanding quality, contrast, etc. Now here I've got my Sony NEX5N with a 50mm prime lens. Now the 22 is not image stabilized. The 50mm on the NEX5N is, so do keep that in mind. Now the weight wise, I think the Sony NEX5N is slightly less heavy, but the EOS M is very well built, and the good thing about it is it has a little bit more options in terms of audio, and in particular because you have the standardized hot shoe. And I did find the Canon fairly comfortable to hold, to be honest with you, even though you didn't have the hand grip. So what I wanted to do was to do a quick focusing test, and I really realized this after I completed the test of this versus the Sony NEX5N, that the Canon I had set up to a single point in terms of autofocus. So what I noticed was there was a slight delay initially for it to focus in, and that was simply because of the way I have the camera set up. What I did notice though was that the Sony NEX5N does autofocus faster. I don't say by much, but it does, and then you can see it here shortly. And again, I'm using the single point, so had I lined it up a little bit better, it would have zoomed in very well. However, I did find it to be more than acceptable in how it zoomed in, and you do get that nice depth of field. And I think the 22mm lens is pretty nice as well. Now here is the Sony NEX5N, and you're going to see that this transition of moving the cap in front of the camera, the Sony does focus faster, which is to be expected. However, my main process or purpose for buying this camera is to have a really nice prime lens to use for dedicated video. So in that case, I think it worked out very well. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything you'd like me to test or anything you're curious about, please leave those down below. And as always, thanks for watching.